I said it once, I'll say it again. Most men are not attractive. Most men, when you go out and about and you look, and I say look, you actually look at the men.
It's always the vids and the uglies that have the most to say about people's looks and have the most audacity to be making these types of videos, when their whole life is literally just a mirror reflection of everything they have to say. This is just pure projection. So, yeah, that's pretty much the whole content of our video is just projection. But for entertainment purposes, we're going to explore more into it and dive deep into this topic once again because this is not new.
Like, look, they're not attractive. And when I say attractive, I'm not just talking physical, I'm talking everything. Personality, their level of knowledge. A lot of men have no hobbies, they don't read, they don't work on themselves, so they're also boring. I was having a conversation with a guy who for months has been trying to get me to date him, and I've told him multiple times, A, I'm not attracted to you, which he doesn't seem to even understand or even think is valid. Like, he's like, oh, we have things in common. I'm like, I'm not attracted to you. I don't find you attractive. Second, he's boring. When we've gone on dates, I'm the interesting one. I'm the one with the personality. I'm the one with the stories. He just sits there. And this is most men.
Correction. Most men that you attract. You attract those men. It's not every single man that you see in life. Just because you attract those particular types of men doesn't mean that every single man, like, this is the fallacy that a lot of people, like, everywhere just like to use. Like, they'll literally associate behaviors throughout an entire group based on just a fraction of a group that they personally encounter, which is already filtered through your preferences. So it's already flawed in the first place. You're deliberately or subconsciously attracting the same type of man over and over and over. Because again, a mirror image of yourself. You're attracting who you are as a person, who reflects your values. If that man that you keep attracting is unattractive and boring, it's probably because you are unattractive and boring yourself. But wait, this video gets worse. It gets more audacious out there. Just hold on.
Most men, and ladies, if we're being honest, it is most of them. And I think that women, because we are trained to be agreeable, we are programmed to be kind and nice, we are not honest with men the way they are with us. Because when I tell you men are honest when it comes to their preference and their body type and what they want and hair and no hair and all this, and these will be the most unattractive men sitting up here talking about what they want, what they don't want. It's crazy.
I'd argue that a lot of women today, and for like the last few decades, are no longer being raised to act that way. Or at least not as much as they did beforehand, considering the erosion of the family structure. And like, y'all being pro, do whatever I want, I don't have to do anything, I don't have to hold societal responsibility, you avoiding accountability, you telling a man off and not having to respect any type of man, or even really anybody, saying to fuck them kids. Like, the current realities and the trends pertaining to like relationships, marriages, like just human interactions as a whole, it's declining. And arguably, I even contest that even beforehand, because a lot of you women are not really truly nice people. You're just raised to put on an act. Y'all just put on acts, you put on masks. You pretend to be kind when you're really just two-faced. And I think I already mentioned this before, like a lot of you are just straight up two-faced. You'll put on these fake personas, these personalities, and then you'll change up your act, especially amongst other women, like in female social circles. Y'all will do that. Like, y'all can compete with like black people who code switch. Like, that's how bad it is. But also, I would argue that you specifically are not the type of woman that you were describing. You're very much the type of woman who's very candid about what she wants, what she finds attractive in a man. Like, this video, what do you think this video is about? And like, you sitting there and acting like women don't get offended by a man having even the slightest standards for women. Like, she has to be a man who wants a woman who is fit, feminine, or friendly. Like, my God, he's a monster. He's a misogynist. He's this horrible man. And because he has boundaries, he has standards, he has any type of like requirement for you, anything that a man desires that requires a woman to actually become a better version of herself, or having to improve, or having to literally do anything, like any type of character development. No, a lot of you are against that. Again, accountability, growth, like, y'all still, a lot of you very much struggle with that. On with the projection.
Most men are not attractive. Most. I'm looking at a guy right now walking by. I'm like, oh. I mean, at least he has all his hair. He doesn't have a receding hairline, but he's not attractive. His face is not attractive. And I feel like the last time I made this video, so many men were upset, even though this video is for women. So many men were upset and were just like, well, what can I do? And the thing is most men could raise their level of attraction if they just worked out, washed their face, drank some water, read a book, weren't an asshole. They would be great. But that's very few men. So I'm here to remind you, ladies, please look at the men that you are dating. Please look at their actual face. Please do an inventory of what they're bringing before you crash out and feel so frustrated that, the dating isn't going the way you want. Are they even attractive? Are you even attracted to that man? Do you even have fun with him? Is there anything interesting, aside from drinking, that you do with the person you're dating that is actually fun and interesting to you?
That was a whole lot of cap, because there's like an abundance of men who do all of those things. But I bet you don't find those type of men attractive either. And you're just going to come up with some sort of bullshit excuse, because to hide the reality is that you yourself are just boring, unattractive, and all the things that you're trying to convince everybody else that all men are. Because your ego is so toilet paper, public restroom, 0.5 ply sensitive that even the slightest criticism, you can't handle it. You can't handle it. And you know what's the most audacious thing that I mentioned earlier in this video? Watch this clip. A single mother trying to take the spotlight of Father's Day because she's an attention whore who needs to make her baby daddy that she chose to have a child with feel bad. And clearly her child just does not want to be in her presence, given his whole demeanor right there. That says everything about you. Truly, one of the biggest red flags that a lot of people seem to take for granted is the type of people that make all these declarations about themselves being this wonderful person, this great, amazing, funny, attractive. Like, they have all these things to say about themselves, but their whole life does not reflect any of those things. Because again, this is pretty much like the equivalent of a nice guy. A guy saying that he's nice and he's kind. Like, you don't say those things about yourself. Those are things that other people say about you. But she seems to think that she can just call herself that and that just magically makes it true. Delusional, self-aggrandizing, self-obsessed, an absolute loser, all bark and no bite, all talk, but her life reflects nothing like she says from her mouth.